Here's a perfect example here on the front of the 17th tee. We've got a transition area where we've got a lateral red that comes up from the right side of the trees and it goes straight across in front of us. But it's the only yellow on the hole. And I thought to myself, you know what? To make things simpler, why don't we just make it all red? It's going to be a boatload easier. Can't get any closer, so there's no advantage by changing the color. And in this situation, does everybody understand? There's 3 options with a yellow, and there's 5 with a red. I can either re-tee it, or I can keep the point between me. And I said, let's not forget, you can actually go in there and try to play it if you want. That's your 3rd option. So you've always got those. And with the lateral water hazard, you've got 5. You've got our original 3. It's keep the point between you and the flag stick, go straight back. You can do that with a red. If you dribble one off and you want to keep that angle there and go straight back, more power to you. We all know the 2 club lengths, all right? Everybody understand the equidistance on the other side of the water hazard that we can have as well? So you've got a narrow water hazard on the right side of the fairway, you drop it over, but you got a tree right in front of you. When you take your 2 club lengths, and before you take your 2 club lengths, you measure it out and you go, geez, I got 2 club, I don't want to be anywhere near this thing. But look at if I step over this water hazard, magically, and now I got a little angle here, that's equidistance, so that's it, okay? And remember, equidistance, the way I try to remember it is, I've got a taut, tight rope right here on my chest. And if I were to attach that to the flag stick and start walking, I'm not going to walk straight across. That rope's going to bring me closer to the hole. So remember, geometrically speaking, it's a circle. How many, first and foremost, how many of you guys have the divot mix out here and watch it germinate and nobody touches it? I mean, that's my worst thing. When you walk in there and all of a sudden you've got some nice, it's like, why can't we do that? Yeah, it's amazing how it grows there. All right, so here's your thoughtful member. Oh, I missed this one. Look at that one. Time out, guys. That's already been filled. If I were to throw this back on top of that, that's going to kill the process. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got them, and I'm not overfilling my divots. The thing you don't want to do is overfill your divots, because if you're just throwing it down willy-nilly like that, that's not helping anybody. That's not going to do anything. And then give it the old toe boom, and then look at me go. I'm out of here. I got to go play that shit. What you guys got to do as superintendents, you got to tell your staff, 1, let's get these buckets where they're convenient for everybody. We never want to bring it up to the edge of the cart path. We always want to make it a nice tie-in if we can. So I've done this is I brought it around and we're tying it in here, and then we bring it right in here. I had Maddie doing some stuff here. But this is to nowhere, so you never want to have that question mark of like, well, what do I mean? It just stops. That's not properly marked. Remember, the stakes identify, the lines are the definition. The lines are the most important over the hazard. So if you're responsible for marking, they don't have to touch all the time. You don't have to have your stakes right on here. Nothing wrong with keeping a stake right here. It's a movable obstruction. Even if my ball is in the hazards, I'm entitled to remove that. The only thing I can't touch are white stakes. We all know that. See the footbridge down the bottom of the hill down over there? I've tied that into the hazard. That footbridge is obstruction in the hazard, and that's fine. Ball lands on that, I can play it off there, I can ground my club on that obstruction. And then if I put another stake about this far apart, and they only need to be about a foot apart, that tells the knowledgeable rules person or anybody who understands that that water hazard goes there, and now it goes on a line to infinity right there. We get the member that comes in here, oh, Billy, nice shot, okay, thanks, I'll be right there. He throws that sucker up there, and now what happens is the guy behind him hits a shot in here, and let's just say for the sake of argument, it's right there. Ball comes to rest right here in the corner. I go to move it, ball rolls right down, doesn't it? Am I allowed to replace that? I got to replace it, right? Ball moved by moving an obstruction. I'm absolved of any penalty so far, but what happens? Oh, keeps rolling. Remember, I can't put pressure on that. I'm not allowed to press down on anything. Didn't let the ball sit there. It would be a boatload easier if I just pushed it right in there and said, okay, it'll sit there. But that is not allowed. So now I've got to try to find my nearest, remember, I can't get any closer. Now, think about it this way. Not too bad this way. I could probably get away from it and find my nearest point where the ball will come to rest, and then I'll play it. That's fine. Let's just say this has got a steeper bank here, and I'm coming on this way. Now, my ball's going to roll closer to the hole, isn't it? Now I'm in trouble here. Because now I can't find anything that's going to not get me closer to the hole. So in addition, 1 penalty. Thanks to that lousy rake, I'm coming outside. now I'm dropping my ball. It's going to cost me one extra shot because I'm taking it out of the hazard. Those are the things that you got to think about. So if these are not in the hazards and they're located perfect places, we got to tell our membership this is where we need to do it. Can't be throwing them back in there. Here we've got a perfect example of a pitch mark. So here I've just hit a great shot, super soft. So I'm going to take my pitch mark tool. Old Scott Whitcomb would do this, and pop it right up. And what's going to happen with that dirt? That dirt that I've dug down in and gone like this is going to come right up. And I'm going to step on it. Look how ugly that is. It's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to take the sides and bring it in. Notice I'm bringing it in, so it's a dig and push in, dig and push in. Now maybe you want to just change the angle of it a little bit, but what you're doing is you're bringing it in and bringing this, and it's going to bring it up, and now you're going to be able to step on it, and hopefully you've got enough turf that you've brought it back in and not brought the dirt from down below up and out. So there is a method to the madness. The key is to make sure that we educate our membership, whether it's the public, private membership, doesn't matter. We've got to do a better job of doing that, and you can do that through newsletters. Do them by having somebody on the Greens Committee hang out on a par 3 early in the spring. Have a good time with the guys. Say, hey fellas, let's talk about divot repair. It might seem stupid and menial to them, but you're going to get the message across.